Hello friends, welcome back to our channel DS Tech Mirror. This is part 2 of the conference room booking app using Power Apps. In part 1, we covered the main screen and the meeting screen. In this video, we will cover the room select screen and we will complete our conference room booking app. So let's get started with the development. So friends, now let's design the room select screen. So we'll start with the border first. What I will do, I've edited this room select screen. This is a blank screen. And now what I will do, I will add a border at the top just for the heading for this particular screen. So for the header, I will add the rectangle control. And I told you from where I will get it under the icons. So over here, from here, I will select the rectangle. I will scroll down and here I can see rectangle. So I will use this rectangle over here now. At the top I will just stretch it to the extreme right and I will change the background color just to get the consistency throughout my app. I will use the same color and also just what I will do, I will use the same width, same resolution for this particular from this particular rectangle. Just the only reason is just to get the consistency throughout the app. So what I will do, let me select this rectangle first and over here I can see this is my rectangle. So I'll see over here position is 0 cross 0 and size is 136664. Okay, 136664. So over here I will say 1366 and height will be 64. I think by mistake I have deleted it, so I have to add it again. So I will quickly do it, or I'll try to do Control Z. Yes, I got it by using Control Z. So 136664. So this is fine. To change the background color, I will use the Properties tab in the right navigation. From here, I'll select this color, and now it looks fine to me. It is 00. Okay, so we have used the same height and width for this particular rectangle. Now I will give a heading to this particular header. For the heading I will use the label control. So quickly first change the give these controls some meaningful name. For this I will say rectangle underscore top header. Okay, and then I'll add another label to it. I will name it rename label underscore heading. Okay, so this screen we will use for to book room for planned meeting. So what I'll say, I'll change the text as book for planned meeting. Again, friends, please keep in mind that I'm repeating that main motive of this video is not to create a full-fledged conference room booking app. Over here, our agenda is to learn Power App concepts. This is book for planned meeting. What I'll do, let me try and move this heading to the extreme right. Okay, so I'll place it over here and then I'll change the I'll change the font color and font size. So font color would be white. I will keep font size as 24 and I'll change the color to white. Font color would be white and now it is visible. Let me just expand it. So it look okay to me. What I will do, maybe I will just move it to little more to the right. Book for planned meeting. So this is fine. So this is my heading, book for planned meeting, and on the left I will keep one more icon just to if I want to navigate to the previous screen. So what I will do, I will keep one icon over here. I will name it as back icon. So I will use another icon from here. I will use this back and I will place this icon over here. And similarly, I will just change the color for this icon also. So let's try this color. So this is fine. And I want to, resize it again a little bit. So this looks extremely fine to me, and now we'll go forward and design our app further. And now what I will do, I will display the list of available room in this screen. For that, what I will do, I will use the gallery control. So friends, as a next step, what I will do, I will insert a gallery control in this screen, and inside the gallery control, I will display all the available rooms. Why I am using this gallery control? Because gallery control is used to display repeated data. So what will happen? I have to display a data table or a data table containing all the rooms. So that type of data source is supported by the gallery control. So let me insert the gallery, and then I think you will understand it in a better way. So I'll click and I will select this black horizontal gallery. Now over here you can see it is asking for a data source. So over here we have to provide the data source, which we will provide it later on. So for now I will close this pop-up. Now let me just customize this gallery control a bit. Let me just assign the height and width for this gallery control, and after that what we will do now, as a next step, what we have to do, we have to provide some control inside this gallery. So let's start with that. What I want the name of my gallery. Sorry, what I will display the name of the room and the button to book. These two things I want to display inside this gallery. So okay, let's start. Now one more thing, please keep in mind. Now I want to insert a control inside this gallery. So for that, as I told you earlier in the meeting screen as well, what we can do, it's not like that. What if I'll insert a button, let's say button, it will not be added inside this gallery. You can see it will be inside the screen. So if I want to add any control inside the gallery, just select your gallery. You will see this small button, click on it, and then click button. Now you can see you are getting all this button 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, now as a next step, what we have to do, button is fine for me, it was just a sample. So before, okay, I will take this button, fine, just expand this button, and it will be same for all the values in your gallery. So now let me remove the text from this gallery. I will remove this text button. Okay, this is blank for me. Now let me change the background color as well. Background color would be white. So this is fine for me now. And as a next step, what we will do, we'll try to change the border radius as well. So let me try and give the border radius to this particular button. Right now the border radius is 20. So let me make it as 50. Okay, it looks not that good, so I'll go with 30. Okay, it looks fine for me. Okay, as a next step, what I have to do, I will put one label over here, and in that we will display the room name. So inside this gallery, I have this gallery, only a button is there, and this button will work as a background. Now inside this button, I will insert one label. So I'll select this edit, and I will click on the label. This is my label inside this, and inside this I will display the room name. So from the design perspective, till now we are good. Now we will fetch the available rooms name. We will write that entire logic. It's a little bit complex one, so we will work on that first, and then we will do the further design thing for this particular screen. So let's go forward and let's see how we can pull the available rooms. So guys, I will just show you a small flow for this particular app. User will come to this screen, click on book for planned meeting. They will select the calendar from here. Now from the calendar will load all the events from your Outlook. I want to book room for this particular meeting. I click on book meeting, and now all the rooms should be available for me over here. So now if you will think wisely, the moment this screen is loading, it should display all the available rooms. So that's why we have to write the entire logic on visible of this particular screen. So I will select this particular screen. I will go at the top and I will select the event on visible, and over here I will write the entire function. And once I write that entire function, then I will create one data source in which all the available rooms will be with me, and I will supply that data source to this particular gallery, and it will populate all the available rooms. So let's go forward and write all the entire logic over here. So now I am on my onVisible function, and as I told you that my gallery will take a data source. So what is my data source? I will create a collection over here. To create a collection, I have two functions with me in Power App: collect and clear collect. If I use collect, what it will do, it will create a collection, and I will supply the values to that particular collection. If I select clear collect, what it will do, it will clear the collection if there are any existing values, and then it will supply the new values to the collection. It's as simple as that. So what I will do, I will select clear collect first. You have to just type clear collect. Guys, I will request you to be please be more attentive to this particular logic, because this is the heart of this particular app, the entire logic, and I will try my best to make you understand it completely. So I will say clear collect. This is my function, clear collect. At the bottom you can see the IntelliSense. I'll select it. Now, as a first step, what I'm doing, I'm getting all the available rooms in my Outlook. If there are 20 rooms in my Outlook, irrespective of whether there are available for this particular time and date or not, I am getting all the rooms. So what I'm saying, clear collect and all rooms. I need all the rooms available. Now, this is the collection. My collection name is all rooms. Now I have to supply the values to this particular collection. Where are my rooms? They are present in my Outlook. At the beginning of this demo, I show you how, if you are working in a trial environment, how you can add a resource. So what I will use one particular connector, that is Office 365 Outlook. You can see now Office 365 Outlook dot. Over here you can see all the particular functions available. This particular class you can say Office 365 Outlook dot. I'll say get rooms, and you can see get rooms, get room list version 2. I'll use get room list version 2. Okay, this is again a function dot value. And now this function is supposed to give me the value of all the rooms available. Now I'll comment over here get all rooms. I'll say control S. Now it is giving us some error. Let's see what kind of error it is giving. Okay, invalid number of arguments, received 0, expected 1. So it is saying it expects some argument. Okay, so I said I have to use get rooms version 2. I've used a different function, get rooms in room list. Okay, so I'll say I will use Office 365 Outlook dot get rooms v2. Now I think we are fine. So guys, I am ready with my collection. My first collection is ready, that is all rooms. I can see all the rooms available. If you want to check, just double click on this particular collection, and over here just expand this arrow. It is saying we didn't find any data. Okay, because I have to run this app, then only it is available. Another way to look for your collection is just click on your file, click on collection over here, and you can see this all rooms. You can see table already is ready. What we are getting in all room, address and name. In the address I will get the email address of each particular room, and in the name I will get the name. Okay, now what I will do, just to populate it, I will start from the beginning. I will just click on it. See, I'll say book for plan meeting. Okay, book for this particular room, and now at the top you can see it processed, and now it should be populated. Now I'll click on all rooms, and you can see I'm getting all the rooms, Alaknanda, Brahmaputra, Ganga, everything. So I got all the rooms as a first step. Now as a next step, what I will do, I'll get all the email address out of it, and I will store it in a global variable with semicolon separated as a next step. Okay, let's go forward. I'm on visible, just I'll try to expand this. Okay, now what I'll say, now to enter I'll say shift enter. Now set, I will create a global variable. I told you if I use set function, it will create a global variable. It will be available throughout my app. I'll say all rooms address. Okay, I'll get the address of all the rooms, comma. Now I will be fetching the room address from the collection all rooms. Okay, and what I have to do, I have to append them with semicolon. So what I will use again concatenate function. I'll say concat in Power App. See, concat. Now it will ask me for the table. You can see at the top it is asking for the table. Table I have all rooms. Okay, fine, comma. Then it is asking me an expression, an text producing expression to evaluate for each room in the given table. Okay, so what expression I'll say over here at the bottom also I'm getting IntelliSense. What you need, address name, I want the address. Okay, so from each row it will get the address, and I have to concatenate. So I'll say and, give me some space, and after that I will say semicolon. So now this concatenate function is over, this set is over, and this semicolon. Now what I'm getting in the all room address, I will get all the rooms email address. I will put comment also over here, get all room address separated with semicolon. This is fine. Now again let's see whether if this global variable is available right now. Okay, it has not yet evaluated, so we'll just load this screen once again. I'll say click book, and now I'll click on this all room address, and you can see the value Alaknanda, Brahmaputra. So all the rooms email address is available with me with semicolon in all room address. So what I did, I used concat function. So we have used this concat function. So again what I will do, if you see over here, we have used this Office 365 Outlook. I just want to cross check that we are covering each and every function, and if you are missing any, I will make a note of it over here, because it will be kind of a recap what we have learned in this video. So I can see I have not added a concat function over here, so let me add it over here somewhere. I'll say concat over here, and later on I will add the definition for that, because we know it is used to add to particular text. So one text over here which was available with us was the address, and then the semicolon. So this is fine with us. Now I have got the semicolon. As a next step, what I have to do, what I will do, I will try and fetching the free slots. Now I have got all the room address. I'll say at this particular time the user has selected for that particular meeting, out of all the rooms, how many rooms are available. So now that process I'm starting to get all the free slots for that particular room. So for that, what I will do, I'll create another collection, clear collect. I'll say free slot. Now Office 365 Outlook I will use again, because we are working with the Outlook, so we will use this particular connector dot find. Over here you can see this meeting times. So this function, everything is inbuilt in Power App. We have to just know these functions. We have to just have a hands-on with this particular function, and it is very easy to work with them. So I'll use this find meeting times v2, and now it will give you all the particular parameters required. So it is saying required attendees. You want to find the meeting time, so you have to provide the attendees. And what are the attendees? We already got all the attendees in all room address separated with semicolon. That's why I get that. Okay, so now what I will do, I'll say okay, curly braces required attendees. What are my required attendees? Required attendees I have in my all room address. Why they are required attendees? Because I want to find the available slot for them. So I'll say all room attendees, all room address, sorry, all rooms. So I think now it will be clear to you why we did the first two steps. So this is fine. Next step is comma. Now what we are now I'm getting is organizer optional. So I'll say true. Who is the organizer? Just don't check for that. Organizer is optional. After that, what I have to say, now I will mention the start time and the end time of my meeting. I'll say start time and end time. I'll say start. Now what is the start time? Start time is start date time UTC. It is available with us. Start date time UTC. Okay, then next is end time. What is end time? End time is the end date time UTC. End date time UTC. It will tell you when my meeting is ending. After that is meeting duration. Over here you can see meeting duration. What is the meeting duration? Definitely I will use the date difference function, and I will calculate is start date time UTC, start date time UTC, comma, end date time UTC, and I want the difference in minutes. This is fine. I will close it, and I will close this particular function and clear collect also. So using this function, I will get the free slots for all the room. But now over here I am getting an error. Over here you can see this required attendance is fine, but after that I don't have this start date time UTC and end date time UTC. These two parameters I need. So let's see how we can get the start date time UTC and end date time UTC of the meeting. So now we have to see how we can get the set date time UTC and end date time. In short, we need the start time of the meeting and end time of the meeting, and we will convert that date and time, start date and end date time, to the UTC. So where we have the start time and end time? In the meeting screen app over here. Okay, so from here we will get it the moment I am clicking on this book button. Okay, I should get the start time and the end time. So right, what I'll do, I'll click, press enter, shift enter, and okay, and here I will click, get the start time. So I'll say set start time, I'll say start date time, and I will get this from this particular gallery. I'll say it is very simple. This item, I'll told this item dot start. So you will get the start time of this from this particular gallery control. Then similarly I will get the end time. So I'll say set end date time, comma, this item dot start. This item is the one which we have selected. This item dot, and you can see end, this item dot end. Now I have got the start time and the end time. Okay, now I want to convert this to UTC. To convert, it's a very simple formula we can do. We'll say set, I'll say set start date time UTC to, now I have to convert it to text. So what I will say, I will use the date add function. I told you date add, with the help of date add function I can convert my start date time to the UTC. I'll say date add function, what I will say, start date time, okay, comma, time zone offset. I'll use this time zone offset and I want it in minutes. Time zone offset and comma minutes. I'll say minutes. In the minutes I want my date time. So what it will do, it will return with, it will add this time zone offset to the date add, and it will return the date. Now what I want the date. So how I will get it? I will convert this entire function to the text. So I'll say text, I'll use this text function, and this will become my input to it value. This value it has to convert into text, comma, and I need to add, some certain parameters also to convert it into UTC. So what I'll say, what I have to do, I'll add this, just convert it into YY, MMDD format, comma, DD, then T HH colon mm. So this is the format in which our UTC date is present. That's why I am just appending this into, I am just converting this into a proper text format. Okay, so this is my text, colon 00.000z. Similarly, I will convert the end date time also to UTC. So I will not copy. I will try to explain you in a better way in this. So I'll say end date time UTC, comma, now what I'll say, I know I will use the text function. Now you can see in the text function what it is saying, a value to format into text. And what is my value? I will use this date add, this will work as a value, and date time, comma, time zone offset, comma, minutes. So this is my value. Okay, now I want to, this is my value, comma. Next it is saying a text value, format text. It is asking for the format, a text value that specifies the way in which the value should be formatted. So it should be formatted in this particular way. In my case it is a text, in my case it is a date time. So I will specify the format. Format is YY, comma, MM, comma, DD, and if you notice any UTC date, it will appear in this particular format, HH colon MM. So this is the format of my date, and automatically this language code will get appended automatically. So I'll close it over here. So now this is the text value, and after that I will append this particular text to it also. So this is just a format how to your date to the UTC dot 000Z. So that's it. If you want to append anything, just use this AND operator, and you can see automatically this language code get appended. So I got my both the dates and date time also, start date time also. Now again I will go back to my app room select screen, and you can see this formula is working. Clear collect. Over here it is showing some error. We'll see invalid argument type text expecting a date time value instead. The function date difference has some invalid argument. Okay, let's see what is the issue with the I'll say start date time UTC. Now we will get the intelligence. I'll say end date time UTC. This bracket is closing over here. Then we have this curly braces for this one. Then I'm closing my find date time, and then finally, so it is not related to the, definitely it is not related to the any syntax error. So again, let me just see carefully. But I can see some issue over here, meeting time duration. Okay, this is one of the parameter which we are providing, meeting time duration, comma, colon, date difference. It is saying invalid argument type text. Okay, so we are providing some text value expecting a date time value instead. Okay, and it is saying with respect to a date difference. Okay, why it is because the start date time UTC, if you remember, we are converting it into text. Over here if you go back, we have converted those particular in with book button. If I'll select this book button from here, yes, we have converted these into text. So that's what it is saying. So what we will do, we have to just calculate the time difference. We will use these date times. Okay, so over here what I have to use, I'll use start date time. So error is quite explanatory. Start date time and end date time, and it will work again. So this is fine guys. So now what it should happen, we should get all the free slots. Now over here I will put a comment, get free slots for the rooms of all rooms. What it will do, it will give us the free slots of all the rooms. Now if you want to see now what is the value present in my free slots, let's just load this screen once again. Click on this book button, and now it is loading. Now if I click on this free slots, over here you can see I'm getting some table over here. So it is returning me a table, and this data source, free slot data source, is having two headers, empty suggestion reason and meeting time suggestion. Okay, so now this is blank. Now I want this meeting time suggestion. Out of this collection I will fetch the meeting time suggestion. So I'll, in the next step, what I'll say, let me make it readable to you. So I'll press some enter over here so that you can, it is quite readable for you. This is one formula. And now what I will do, I show you I need the this meeting time suggestions. Again I will create another collection because it was let me show you over here. If I'll go over here under collection, I have this free slots, and in the free slot you can see this meeting time suggestion. This is a table. If I click on it, inside this I have attendee availability, confidence, location, meeting time, all the data is coming, but now I have to fetch the data out of all these tables, and I have to format in a way which I can provide it to my gallery. I have to, over here I have to create a variable. So I'll say underscore meeting time suggestions. So this is the variable which I created. Now I will supply the value. Now free slots I have. Okay, so from the free slots I need the meeting time suggestion. This is the table. If I again click on it, this is returning me a table over here. So what I'll say again, now it is a table. From there I have just got single record. You can see over here. If I again go back over here, you can see I got this only from the meeting time suggestion I want. So what I'll say, from the free slot I have got this single row. So I'll say first, I want the first row. Okay, from which collection I want, because at the top you can see it is asking me a source. I'll say free slots. I know it could be confusing for you, but once this is done, I will explain you again. So just try to go with the flow. Free slots. Now dot. You can see now it is giving me both the columns. So I want meeting time suggestions and sorry, I want meeting time suggestions dot free slots dot meeting time suggestions, and I'll close it, and it will be get meeting time suggestion. Now I've got meeting time suggestion also, but before proceeding further, I cannot proceed until unless I know what is available for me in meeting time suggestion. If I again double click on it, I'm not getting any data. So as usual, I will load this screen again by click on this book button, and now I should get something in meeting time suggestion, and then only I can plan it forward. Again, now in meeting time suggestion, I'm getting attendee availability. I need the attendee availability, and what are my attendees? All the available rooms. So what I have to do? Now I will get the attendees availability. Again, similarly, what I'll say, clear collect underscore attendee availability. My spelling could be wrong, so for now I will ignore it. I'll say what I want. I'll say first. Again, I want the first row underscore meeting time suggestion underscore meeting time suggestion. I'll say dot attendees availability, fine, and I'll close it. Now let's say what I'm getting in this, because I want to check this again. Similarly, I'll just load this screen once again, and let's see what I'm getting inside attendees availability. Okay, inside attendees availability, I am getting all the rooms and with their availability. Attendee over here, it's a record and their status. Over here you can see it is returning us all the rooms with their availability. Now over here you can see each and every room is free because none of the room is booked, but if a room is booked, it will show over here busy. So I want only free rooms. So what I will do on this collection, I will apply a filter that it should return only the free rooms to me. So what I will do, either I can do in a separate line, or over here only I will simply use filter function like this filter. Now this is my data source, and over here at the end I will just simply put a condition over here. Over here you can see it will ask me the logical test, and what is my logical test? Availability should be free. So availability equal to, I'll say free, FREE. So that's it. Now I will close the filter and I'll say yes. Control S saving to power room. Now finally I will get only the free rooms. We are almost there. Now let's just load one more time. At the top you can see it is processing and attendee availability, and we are getting the attendees. Now it is a record. Let me go back into the file, collections, attendee availability. You can see I'm getting all the free, and in the attendee it is a record. I'm getting type email address. So inside this I have the email address. Now I have to get the email address from this attendee availability. Over here what I'm getting, get free rooms. Get free rooms. Only free rooms I am getting. Now what I want now, I want the email address from this particular record. I want all the email addresses. So how I will get the email addresses? I'll create another collection. I'll say clear collect available rooms emails. Okay, and from where I will get from this particular attendee availability. Now you could see this is the table, and inside this I have records. So I have to iterate all the records and I have to get the email. So for that I will use for all function. For all will ask me a data source, it is underscore attendees availability. Okay, comma, next it is saying attendee dot email address. Automatically it is giving me intelligence. Attendees dot email address dot address, and it will give me all the email addresses. And just after that we are left with just one more step. So again I will show you, because I have to load this screen again and again just to load the final collection. You could say I'm getting all the email addresses. So again let's see what is I'm using attendee availability, this data source, inside this attendees dot email address dot address. Just go back, just check this particular collection, attendees availability. It is attendee dot email address dot address. So that's why I'm getting the intelligence automatically. If I click on it again, attendee availability, so I was getting it from, I think, free slots, meeting time suggestion. So you could see all the collections over here, attendees availability, and it's a record over here. So what we are doing, we are over here, I'm getting available rooms email. So what we did, we simply iterate over each and every record and just got the address from inside of it. So guys, that's it. Now I got all the email addresses. Now what I want, because I will be using the email address as well as the room name. So now you could see I have the email address over here, and corresponding to that I have all the rooms name over here as well as the email address. Now as a final step, I will create a collection. These are my free rooms. In that I will put all the email address plus corresponding to these email address, I will get the room name from the all room collection, and I will create a new and the final collection, which I will call it as room data source. This is the final one. Well, now I will put a comment over here, get the email address from all the records in the table. Just, you can understand it. Now just the final collection. So this was the most complex logic of this app. After that, nothing is much more complex than this one. So if you understood this thing, now majority of the stuff I think you have understood. That is room data source, comma. Now this is the new data source I am creating. So what I am saying, I will use this one only, available rooms email, but in this I have this collection available rooms email with email address. I will add one more column in it, that is room name. So I'll say add column. I'll use add column function, add columns. Now it will ask me at the top, you can see it is ask me for the data source. I will say available room emails now, comma, then it will ask me the column name, a unique column name. I will say name, fine, and after that it is asking me an expression that provides value for the new column. Now I have to give the value to the new column. For that I will use the lookup function. I'll say lookup. Now lookup is asking me the source table where values will be looked up, that is all rooms. I am asking to look up in this room. Now what is the condition? Condition is address. I have the address. Address should be equal to value in that particular table. Address is equal to value. I will show you, and from there I will use name. I'll show you how it is working. So what I'm saying, now I will explain you what is lookup. Let me see whether I have added lookup over here or not. I have added. The lookup function find first record in a table that matches the condition. Now let's say in a table if there are multiple matches, so it will take the first match only. So that's why I'm using this lookup function for that. So see over here, if you see this all room collection, okay, address and the name. So what I'm saying, lookup all room, comma, now address is equal to value. Now what is the value? Value is over here. You can see this value. This is value column. So address is equal to value, and then after that I am getting the name column, and finally I am creating this one. So just let me load it one last time, and then I will explain you the entire logic, and then we will proceed further so that it will load each and everything. And you can see the final collection, room data source. We are getting all the free rooms available, and I'm gonna provide this particular data source to this particular gallery, that is room data source. This is done, and over here you can see automatically I got all the rooms name over here. This label, this is this item dot name. See, if I'll set this item dot email, I will get the email also. See, this is how I will populate each and everything. Now I have populated the data. Other cosmetic changes I can done easily, but before that I will recap the entire logic, because that is the most important part of this particular app. We wrote the entire logic on the screen load, room select screen. So what I am doing, clear collect, I am creating one first collection, all rooms. I am getting all the rooms. So there are 5 rooms, I got all the rooms. Now I want to find their meeting times, like free meeting times. uh, to find the meeting times, like give me the room, I will pass the start date and the end date, and during that duration, out of all the rooms, I will get the free rooms. For that, what I will do, I will pass them in a single collection. For that, what I will do, I will extract this email address from here, and I will save them with a with semicolon separated value. So what I did, I simply used concat function. I get the all rooms as a data source. I'll say address, and I concatenate with this, and I save it in all room address. After that, I used free slot, find meeting time. This is very easy function. Just pass the attendees, organizer, optional true, start time, end time, and the duration. Start time, end time we got from the last screen. Then I got all the free slots of all the rooms. This was a table. So over here you cannot operate on it. But if you go on the files and if you go on the collection, over here if you see this free slots, so this was returning as this meeting time suggestion. If you click on it, under that you could see this attendee availability, but this was written as a single row. So now as a next step, I use the first function to get the free slots, and from there I got the meeting time suggestion, and I saved it under meeting time suggestion. In this I got attendees availability. As a next step, I fetch the attendees availability, and I get all the, and I filter it with free as my value, and I get all the free rooms. Then I got it in a record. Then from this table I have to iterate with each and every record and extract the email. For that I used for all function, for all underscore attendees availability, attendee dot email address dot address. I saved it inside this available email, and then finally I create a data source with a room name and room email address. Then I passed it to my gallery, and it worked like charm. So this is done. Now quickly I will do the cosmetic changes. Quickly I will do these cosmetic changes for this particular app, and then we'll move forward because still a lot of work is left in this particular app. Okay, so fine, I got it. Now what I will do, I will insert one button for the booking purpose. I'll say button, fine, button, I'll say book, text. I will increase this border radius maybe to 50. It looks fine, and I will focus less on these cosmetic changes because that you can do, I know. So this is fine. I'm getting all the rooms. It just this label, I'll change it a bit. So I'll say font size, I can increase. I will make it font size, okay. I can make it as bold. Font size, I'll say 15 so that it can highlight. Fine, and it should appear in the center. Just a little bit of changes with respect to the button. Still no, it's not working. Label, okay, so it will work with the first one only. So maybe I could use some padding. I'll say from the left, give it to 10. I'll say 20. Yes, let's give it more, 50. Okay, 30. So like this you can play. That's why I'm focusing less on this. So this looks fine to me. Okay, and just to increase the size of the tile more, if I play this app, okay, so I'm getting this scroll bar. So I just want to avoid this scroll bar so that these items can come in the second line. This is one change I will work on, and after that I'll write a logic to book a room on this particular book button. So guys, this cosmetic changes like moving these rooms to a separate line plus the book button logic, and also we are left with another screen like book for unplanned meeting. I will cover in the second part of this video. In the first part I will cover till this much only. So for the complete app, just you can find the link in the description box below. Just click on the second part and you will it will be in the continuation of the first part, and in the second part you will see how with a click on this button a room will be booked for you in the Outlook. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please like and share the video and subscribe to the channel to get notification for our upcoming videos. You can reach out to us through YouTube comments or you can contact through our official email ID contactdstechmirror@gmail.com. I have created a group over Facebook called Modern SharePoint. You can join that group and we can collaborate over there. Also, you can follow me on my Twitter handle. Thank you. Much love. Keep learning.